Yes, people, welcome back to another episode on Gunners Street and KapeHasPausa. We're live after Arsenal's 2-2 draw at the Stadium of Light. And ladies and gentlemen, gutted. And just as I say gutted, my earpod falls out. So give me a second, people.
Gutted, man.
Sorry about that, people. If you're Arsenal related, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the family on Gunner Street and KapeHasPausa. We're both on the road to 2K subs. So if you like anything Arsenal related, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But I want to start off first of all, KP, going into this game. It was a massive one and one that both of us looked to expecting 3 points, hoping for 3 points, especially with the game on tomorrow between Liverpool and Manchester City. We're both looking at this game and saying, okay, let's capitalize here and then give us the best possible chance to go maybe 10 points clear of somebody, 9 points clear, or whatever it's to draw, extend the lead nonetheless. Kip, I want to go to you. You were on the watch along. How are you feeling? Not going into the game, but once the game kicked off, first couple of minutes, because you were on the watch along. So, give me your thoughts and your feelings in those moments as the game started.
Yeah, obviously Sunderland came out of the game physical, like they looked very comfortable on possession, which was nice. Obviously, they got a lot of good players, but they look very, very physical. Like the players look as big as our players. Like they look that they can impose themselves physically, and they were winning their duels, getting a couple of long throws. And I knew that we were going to be in for a game. I knew we were going to be in for a game anyways. I knew it would be one of the toughest games, but I didn't anticipate it being that physical. Sunderland being that on it, imposing themselves that much in the game, and I felt like we struggled to match, the physicality. We were losing our draws in the beginning. I feel like we had possession of the ball, but we wasn't when the game was getting a bit in the air. Were second to the balls, Sunderland winning the headers, and I felt like we wasn't taking enough risks. So I felt like as soon as I saw that game and I saw how they were very willing to go into that low block, sit very deep, I just knew that it was one of those situations where we needed to show a bit of quality in our actual play for us to potentially get anything out of that game. How about you? When
Yeah,
you
you're right, bro. You're right. I mean, from the first couple of moments, I thought Sunderland started well. The atmosphere was great at their ground. I thought one of the big moments for me. I don't know why I remember it so vividly, but when Moreno went down from the Dan Ballard elbow, I thought we kind of weathered the storm. Seeing that we came out of that, the crowd kind of quieted down. It was a lull in the game. I'm thinking, okay, now we're looking to put our foot on the ball, and I guess now we're looking to take charge in this game and really stamp our authority. From there, we I just thought it was more of a lack of lack of urgency and lack of sharpness in our attacking play, especially throughout the game in the first half, because it was very it wasn't anything much changed for me about the squad. We only had one sub throughout the game. Yes, tactics changed, but I think more of it was down to more emphasis, more winning your duels, like you talked about, just having that energy and really putting the emphasis to win the game there. But ultimately, give away a free kick. Zubimendi debates about if that is a free kick, but they ultimately use the
it wasn't a
goalkeeper.
free kick, man. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it
a
wasn't a
foul.
free kick.
I'm not
It
gonna
wasn't a
cry
free
about
kick,
that
but
because Arsenal should have done better to deal with that goal. Um,
exactly.
but obviously Ballard physical in that duel. I think Rice
Yeah,
was trying to stand his ground. Then Gabriel doesn't win the ball. Obviously, that goes to Traore. Ballard, a great touch, great finish. First off,
yeah,
for Sunderland, like that, like as much as Arsenal had the ball, we had that great chance of Saliba that from the Saka header that just went over. I think Arsenal didn't look like the better team. Sunderland looked like the better team. They had control of us, nullified us for the most part going forward in terms of creating real quality attacks. And Arsenal didn't look like we were not saying up for it, but it just looked like physically they were on us. On
I,
us.
I want to ask you though, KP, because we talked about how good the squad is to go physically and match teams, and I think we saw that second half. But I want to stuck on the first half. Do you think Do you think there was an era of cockiness or arrogance going into this game from not even just players and saying one particular players in particular, but in terms of the performance and how casual it was at certain times? Do you think it was more of an arrogance thing?
No, I don't get anything of arrogance. I think what we are just used to dominating teams that I think subconsciously we just assume Arsenal are going to dominate games and make games go the way we want games to go, and that's not football, isn't it? At the
Yeah,
end of
yeah,
the day, even someone like me that predicts, high score lines and stuff like. End of the day, you have to understand that's not football. Sunderland came out today; their players were sharp in their first touch and dribbling and playing, and fam, they were being physical. They're extra physical. Like they have big players. Their striker Isidore, very physical striker, was well on his jewels against Saliba and Gabriel. Ballard at the back. I think it was Gertrudia, like Yele, Hume, everyone there that was doing what they need to do. Ronaldo on the side was doing
Yeah, because you could see they were looking to use that to their advantage, just going long,
listen, they're at home.
long throws, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying Arsenal had got a bit of territory when they got their goal. Arsenal were, kind of, moving the ball around, kind of starting to pin them in their half, but they scored their first goal out of how the game was going. They were winning
Yeah.
the first headers. There was a couple of moments where they had a couple of moves that kind of came from, a couple of good flick-ons and stuff like that. Like, so that was a game that they were playing. Their long throws, that Mukiele guy has quite a good delivery on him. Like as much as our defense is good, that was how they were trying to impose what they were going to do, and they did it. And the first half game plan was good. Like, Sunderland were the better team because they nullified us. They sat in a very, very low block, sometimes in banks of 6-5 or 6-4. And do you know what I mean? Like, they made it very difficult for us to have any space. Arsenal wasn't taking risks enough.
Yeah.
I think the players didn't realize, okay, like maybe our game plan was to come and nullify them, pass them out the park. But once you go 1-0 down, once there's no real space, you have to start taking risks. Obviously, and has to be at a level of urgency. Your best players have to start, getting on the ball and making things happen. And I think, as you said, first half, I think that's what we didn't see. But I'm pretty sure second half, that's what we did see. And obviously,
Yeah. Second half, I definitely agree. I thought coming out second half, it was going to be a big result. The boys definitely needed to answer with some character, and I think what we come to expect from this team is that they will fight. And we talked about it at moments during the stream. That second half performance was a character performance. That was a real top quality character performance. I said it in the stream when I was on your watch along, bro. I love this team. You even said it. You love this team, and because they showed that fight, they showed that quality to get themselves back in the game. First goal, to work with from Declan Rice, chasing down the ball, just a guy dallying on it, wins it back brilliantly. Eze finds Moreno. Moreno does well to wait the pass on the Saka. And Saka does well on his right foot, getting under the keeper, because just before that, he had one that dragged it just right on the left hand side. Does well to redeem his chances. That's what star players do. We got to forget that the miss you had before. Have to capitalize on the second finish. There we go, 1-1. And then a brilliant finish from Trossard. You were bigging him up throughout the game when you were watching on, saying that had a man of the match performance. Trossard has some lovely balls in behind, finding Calafiori, finding Declan Rice in guys' pockets of space. But then ultimately does it himself, has a wonderful rocket of a shot. Leaves the keeper absolutely no chance. And then from there, 70-yard minute, bring on Mascara, go 5-4-1. And you're thinking, shut up shop, this is what we do, this is Arsenal, man. But ultimately, we give up a goal at the end. We could talk about that goal. We could talk about the other two goals. But KP, I want to hear from you overall about your second half. Your thoughts and feelings about the second half, because it leaves a bit of taste in your mouth, man. Knowing that you worked so hard to get back in the game, but ultimately you don't leave with the 3 points.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's disappointing, but I think ultimately, it's annoying because it's an opportunity that was missed. But I think the players kind of recovered me being so angry at them because they did all they can in the second half to win. Came out of the intensity, started to understand we can't be just putting high crosses into the box, because Sunderland are dealing with them. We start to move the ball well. Rice and Zubimendi start to really dictate that game. Calafiori and Timber getting quite very high in the pockets. And we start to play some, riskier passes into the middle. Start to get, a bit more time and space for Trossard and Saka to work out wide, by kind of pilling their fullbacks and taking the markers away by putting more players forward. And I think Zubimendi, you saw him getting high and forward. He had that one chance as well that he just narrowly missed. Obviously, Saka's goal comes from great ball winning from Declan Rice there. Obviously, plays. Obviously, Eze, Marino do their job, and obviously Saka, lovely finish. Obviously, near post, low, hard, did what he needs to do, gets the important goal, and then obviously Trossard with an amazing finish. Great performance from him. He was doing a lot like them Alexis Sanchez type, chipped balls, into players. Like he's been in top form, and that goal was an amazing goal, and something that I want to see more from him, shooting outside the box. He has that ability to do it. Obviously, the space opened up for him. He hit it amazingly well, and a deserved winner. But obviously, at the end of the day, obviously, big up AFC always. Shout out my bro. Hope you're doing well. Everyone, don't forget to drop a like as you tune in, whoever side you're tuning in, and subscribe. But I feel like you have to give credit to Sunderland, man. Like, they didn't after Arsenal got 2-1 up. They still tried. They're still putting pressure on the goal. You had that obviously long throw that was offside, but it was a very took an amazing David Raya save to save that opportunity. That was a warning sign. Obviously, that's what forced Mikel to make the sub. But at the point, like, you have to realize Sunderland already had 45 minutes of good where they deserved to be winning in that game, and they didn't let go. They're at home. And at the end of the day, you got to say they deserved the point. Arsenal did deserve to win that game in the second half based on the chances we had. The Zubamendi chance, we had the Eze chance, the left foot, we had the Calafiori head at the end with the Marino block from Ballard, great defender from him, man of the match performance from him, ex-Arsenal player. But we had a lot of chances in that second half the way we could have, I'm saying, we had opportunities. And in another day is where we put them away. At the end of the day, we lacked. If you look at our bench, we had not that really many attacking subs. We don't really have that many experienced players in the midfield to bring on or to change up. Obviously, yes, you have Norgard, you have that, but obviously you don't want to make the games.
But you make a good point there, KP, and I said that before the game going in, and I even said it on your stream at halftime at 1-0. If we're gonna win this game, it's gonna have to be from the starters because we've seen, well, not even just this season, but the manager's history. He's not gonna really bring on a young player, especially when we have young players on. He's not gonna really bring on Harman and Noose. He's not gonna really bring on these guys if it's in a game state like this specifically. Especially with the bench we had. If we had different guys on the bench, maybe like an Odegaard or more quality, more like senior members on the bench, you probably see more signs. You probably see more subs. But I don't, and I have to give the manager credit because it's something I would have done too. I don't want to put guys like Dolman and Harman and those. Maybe Waneri, seeing that Waneri's played more games. Maybe Lewis Kelly, seeing that they've been in around the team. They've played in big pressure moments as well. But again, we worked our way back into that game. We deserved. So honestly, I thought we deserved. We did enough in that second half to win the game. Ultimately, being 2-1 up with like 5 minutes to go, you're obviously thinking that. But this is the Premier League, and like you said, man, one mistake at the back, and there it goes. I thought for that goal to end the game, I thought David Raya didn't need to come for it there. You kind of give Robbie. I mean, he has to do some wonders there to get the ball. He wins it from Gabriel. He flicks it on, and then with no keeper in the net, it goes in. But if Raya's there, straight into Raya's hands, lays down on it, probably see the game out. But Raya was coming for the ball all game long, claiming it, like you said, making good saves. And there's one moment where he does it where he's probably going to look like the villain. But that's football, like you said. I thought.
That's why I'm not really. That's why I'm not so mad. Obviously, I'd be more disappointed if we lost. Obviously, just to talk on the point, obviously always says Arteta took a gamble to hang on to the lead. We had no out ball up top and low energy due to lack of subs. Definitely 2 points dropped. Yeah, it's 2 points dropped because it's always going to be 2 points dropped. I don't really blame the manager, as you say. Like, we're in a unlucky situation where the injuries have caught up with us. Like, you have 2 young players who you're not going to bring on in that game state. Obviously, yes, you have an Ethan, but who you really going to bring Ethan on for? You can't take off Marino. That's your only real physical outlet up front that, if you're going to go long, that you can go for. Trossard and Saka stay on the pitch. They're your senior players that in a game state like that, you want to still be on. Even if they are showing some moments of fatigue, it's a big game. They're trying to get the 3 points in. Like, you have to put it into context. That's just the first thing, innit? So I don't really blame the manager there. Like, it would be different if we had a lot of, options, Havertz, Jesus, okay, and you didn't bring, guys on to refresh it or change shackles or Gokras on. I'm pretty sure he would have won that game earlier on. So there's context, obviously. It's all ifs and buts, but there's that. And obviously, for your second question, you said, I've said this before and I'll say it again, the only person who can stop Arsenal from winning the league is Arteta himself. The reason I say it's wrong, I'm saying other teams have influence on a game. Like, so as I said, Sunderland today, they played a very, very good game. Like, they were physical. They need to try. They're the first team to really, make Arsenal a bit uncomfortable. Like, that's a credit to them. Obviously, a credit to Arsenal for not having that many teams being uncomfortable, but a credit to them. And end of the day, I understand this rhetoric, but you have to realize that I don't think the manager was to blame today. So I think it's very quick that everyone just goes to look at the manager when there's some drop points, and then
and I think it's down to guys being a bit vexed by the result more so than anything.
Yeah. But then it's poor to just go straight to the manager. Sometimes analyze
the game
and then see, because obviously you can blame the manager. It'll be different if, like I was saying, like, players are tired and stuff, but you made the one change, tried to go a bit more defensive.
But I mean, on one hand,
I disagree. This is Arteta's fault. This is why we haven't won the league under this manager. It's down to get in-game management. Not really. Last season we had a lot of injuries. Can't really be angry at that. Can't win a league with winning that full squad. The season before we won almost every single game, bar one game. And we lost the league to Man City team that won 3 in a row. The year before was our first title race, where none of us anticipated us winning. We didn't have the squad for it. I'm not saying the manager's not a fault for things, but I think this rhetoric here would be completely nullified. If we win this league this year, then that means the whole narrative that you said is wrong. Like, that means what you believed in terms of saying the manager can't do it, will never do it, is wrong because the manager's doing it. Like, do you know what I mean? As I said, every drop point, because the same, that means every time that we win, it's not really a problem. I think this whole season, sorry for Steph for going on a tangent, yeah. This whole season, I feel like his game management has been perfect. I don't think there's one game we can never credit. He's rotated the squad well. He's brought on subs when it's necessary, like against Palace, for example. Brings on KAPE, brings on Mascaro, goes to 5-4-1. We're able to see that game out easily. He brought on many subs that have won the game. Martinelli in Champions League, Trossard in Champions League. He's made the necessary changes to lineups. He's rotated the squad well. I think you're being a bit unfair, and you're not putting the context of how the squad is right now. You can't make that many changes to change the game, especially where a majority of the players that were tired in that game were attacking. But we don't have attackers. We're not bringing on the down and Hiram and Moose against Sunderland away in the physical game where they're playing like that. Like, it's just Pep wouldn't do that. More experienced managers wouldn't do that. So I'm saying, I'm not saying you can't criticize the manager. I just think it's really hard to criticize him for this game, in my opinion. Like, he didn't. It's not like he did. We know Arteta's moral is jewels. So I'm pretty sure the first goal where players are not winning their jewels is not what the manager asked them to do. First thing. Second goal, Raya didn't need to come out of his line there. He took a gamble in the moment where he thought he was going to get the ball, and I don't mind it, but the gamble didn't pay off. I don't think Mikel's to blame there, innit? Yeah, and I agree with you. These are the games that you need to win the title, but they're also the games that you need to make sure you don't lose, especially where you are at the top and you've been so perfect. This is what I'm saying. Like, for me, the anger that fans are having is like, you would think we didn't just go 10 games unbeaten, 10 wins in a row, 15, 12 games unbeaten, 8 clean sheets in a row. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you context it. Like, we've been able to nullify it.
Context also goes into this result, though, KP, because we were 1-0 down. We were 1-0 down. We're not playing good that second half. I get first half, and I guarantee you, before that last goal goes in, everyone would have been saying stuff of champions, because this manager made a difference, and we won the game, and we almost won the game. We were 5 minutes away from winning that game, and I think, like you said, I don't want to be too harsh on the players either, but that's a player error there when it comes to conceding that goal. The manager is not there telling Raya to go claim that ball. Raya has to stay on his line and just and stop the ball from going in the net, respectfully. I can't blame the man. I agree with you, KP. I can't put this blame solely on the manager. I thought first half we weren't good enough, so maybe you could say, man, we didn't come up with the right mentality or blame with the tactics on the manager. But to shift the game when we were 1-0 down and then to be 2-1 up with a few minutes left, make the defensive substitutes to win the game, it's deeper than that. I think it's just, like you said, too easy to then couple and say the manager, because I think there was so many chances we created. Like,
we created a lot. You have to realize with that same lineup, the same lineup that played in the first half that got dominated, and I don't think the manager tells it doesn't get a team riled up for a game. I think it's more the other team can be more riled up. They are at home. They are in good form. They're confident. They haven't lost a game at home. They know that Arsenal are a great team. The only way for you to try and wrestle some type of control is to try put it on us straight away. If you let us have the ball and let us have control and get into rhythm, even if we're not threatening, we're going to have control of the game. So I think there's context there. He definitely changed things up at halftime. We came out, we were a way better team, created so many chances, put them under the pressure. If you go look at the stats of the second half, way better than the first half. But in the end, it comes down to us not winning. If this result is the reason why we don't win the league, okay, we'll come and talk about it. But I don't think this result will be the reason why we don't win the league, especially where even if either team wins tomorrow, it's still going to be a 5 to 4 point lead, isn't it? End of the day. If Man City win tomorrow, it's going to be a 4 point lead. It's not a big gap, but 7 points wasn't a big gap either. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think bigger than the result, though, it'd be how fast the injuries built up on us and how fast the injuries kicked in, because we've had games even to start the season. I think for our first 6 Premier League games or first 7 Premier League games, there was only one game in Newcastle game where we didn't have an injury. We were getting injury after injury after injury, and my thing is that killed us last season. We're supposed to be getting guys back from international break. Let's see. My thing is how much players come back from international break. Then I'll show my real worry or concern for the squad. If we get no players back and maybe just Jesus, maybe it's the thing. Okay, I'm a little bit filled with a little bit more confidence. But I still can't say going into a stretch where you have Spurs, Bayern, and Chelsea in a week, and then other Premier League games to play, and the difficult December period where games are going to come thick and fast. It's like you kind of worry for the squad. But if we get our guys back, I think obviously you can't win every game in the Premier League. You're gonna have points where you drop points, but I think we've built a good buffer enough that I think one of those two guys are gonna drop points. I think both of them will drop points. I think it will be a draw tomorrow. And then you've lost no ground, you've gained no ground, I guess, but you've lost no ground as well if both of those teams draw. So you go back to the drawing board, you accept that was a very, very difficult game. You almost won it, but those crucial moments and those fine margins are what win titles. Similar to when Gabriel won it up at Newcastle, we won the game, and similar today, we tied. We didn't lose it, and that's I think that's a big thing. We didn't go there and lose today. We definitely couldn't afford to lose today. But you always want to win when you're 2-1 up, 5 minutes left to go, or 3 minutes left to go. So I get frustration, I get being angry, I get wanting to point the finger. But I think let's understand we've been on a good run. We almost broke a club record of over 100 years old. So we were in a great period, we're in a great moment. I'm gutted for the clean sheet, just as bad as the result. But we have to be able to manage our emotions and, through this title race and manage our expectations through this title race. It's all well and good going on a run, but as soon as we draw to a difficult team away from home who've given City fits, not City, who've given Chelsea fits and other teams in the Premier League fits, they've been undefeated away from, they're undefeated at their ground all season. It was always a difficult place to go. We've shown we have the momentum, we've shown we have the character to go and win those games in like Prague and other games. Sometimes today, especially not having the guys we need, it could be the difference in losing and getting dropping points.
End of the day, it's just Asadi boy said, I know Sunderland will be passing the ball to Salah on a 0.7 XE chance, and they're colliding each other to let Harlan 1v1 with the keeper. You will see some of these teams defending a bit less intently when they're facing.
Yeah.
But that's what the fear of Arsenal right now. People feel like we're the best team in the league. That's what happens. If he always says, if Man City win tomorrow, the gap's not looking so big. Man City over Christmas period and New Year can easily go on a winning streak, 10, 15 games. I don't see Arsenal doing that.
But so can we? We just went on a streak.
That's why I'm like, you have to context the AFC always. Like, and I'll read your next comment as well. That's why I question this Ars team and Arteta mentality. It's we're going to go and get stuff we fold like a deck of cards, like it's boxing. Like in boxing, also don't do enough to win the championship rounds. Yeah, but we saw in 23-24 season, we won 17 out of 18 games. Obviously, when it got tough and when we were facing a very, very good Man City team. As you have to say, like, PTSD is the reason why I can see you're speaking right now, which I understand, bro, because we all have that PTSD. We all have that, that pain. But no, I know you said you meant Arsenal, it's fine. We all have that PTSD, that pain. But at the end of the day, bro, you have to always context it because this is the same manager that just gave you 8 clean sheets in a row, 10 wins in a row. Had you not worrying about any of those results. So one result where we drop points, 2 points, we didn't even lose. If this is our flaw when all our team is injured, let's also see Man City when they don't have Haaland or Doku or Cherky or Foden, and they have to just play, 3 of the attackers, and they have no depth really, no one to rotate, and only young players on the bench and see if they can still get 3 points away from home in a tough physical game. Do you know what I mean? We saw when they went to Villa away with a rotated team and Villa away able to nullify them. Like this is the Premier League right now, and it's very, very high level. You have to do a lot to win a game, and sometimes you're not going to be in control. But Arsenal, even in probably one of our worst performances, which I don't think was that bad, almost won the game and almost had a class second half where we would have deserved to win a game, and we're so close to doing that. So I think it's about context. As a fan base, I'm not telling anyone how to feel. I just say you have to always just, when you drop points, you have to regroup. Even if we had lost today, you disappoint, you soak up, you regroup. If Liverpool or Man City, one of them win tomorrow, kudos to them, and they've taken advantage of a drop point situation. But this is why, as you said, when we were constantly winning games, when these teams were drawing and losing, is the reason why you get the buffer in it. We didn't lose now. Yes, we got tough games at the end of the break. At the other side of the break, but most of these players are going to be back. Mikel's already said it. We know that they probably are going to be back. We're not going to be in a situation where our bench is going to be looking as weak, and we can start to have that attacking threat. You have to realize we still created a lot of chances, still had a lot of chances with, no natural striker up front, no real options to come off the bench in it. Obviously, Trossard and Saka were having good games, but there was no other outlets you could add, to stretch. We couldn't attack Sunderland in different ways. We couldn't run in behind. We didn't have Martinelli's pace or Madueke's pace or Gokeres. You didn't have Jesus' flair or Havertz's flair. You didn't have Odegaard's experience and know-how. You didn't have, do you know what I mean? So end of the day, you just have to kind of reel it in and then context it, because it's
on a positive note, bro, I do want to talk about individual performances, because I do think there's still a lot of positives to take, even though it's a gutting result and it's a gutting feeling that most fans will have. I do think in terms of players and overall performances, I thought Trossard, like you talked about, started out well with his performance. I thought Declan Rice, his running was ridiculous. The energy in his performance today was outrageous. Does well for the first goal. Ultimately, has a great game for me. I thought Subamendi was also class with his ball winning. Those as a duo did so much to bring us back in that game. Timber was in the wars all game. His composure is on the ball. So there were a lot of good performances out there. I thought Saliba was solid as well, dealing with everything that was coming into the box, dealing with his matchups as well. But ultimately, yeah,
yeah.
to the
Yeah, and that's what I say. Like, you can't really be. I think Trossard had one of his best games today. Obviously, the goal was amazing, but constantly creating, constantly being a threat. Saka as well. Second half, he turned it up. It was it was quality. Zubimendi and Rice. I think you always see them elevate the game when Arsenal need to, try before. I feel like last season it was just Rice being the one trying to drive, being the driving force, but now you see Zubimendi as well being a very big driving force to allowing us to create chances. He created a lot of moments where we could have scored as well. And as you said, yeah, Timber. I think Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, they defended well today. Like, the players played well. Like, it would be different if we played poor today and scraped a draw, or do you know what I mean? But we actually played decent. So it's one of them ones where I'm disappointed about the 2 points dropped. I'm not necessarily angry at any player in particular. Like, even if Raya's mistake at the end, I'm not angry at him. But that's just what it is, man. But I think I'm just have to regroup. We get players back at the end of the day. I think there's a lot of positives. I think we had moments from where we could have won the games. Even Mendy's crossbars, Calafiori at the end, Marino's chance. So it's ultimately we made more of the chances. We have the higher better chances, especially in that second half, that we could have won the game even more than just, obviously we could have won the game. Let's just say that. I'm going to say more than one, scoring more than just 2 goals in it. So I think we just regroup. Hopefully get some players back. Take this pain and this disappointment. I think obviously our clean sheet run is done. Our winning run is done. We're still unbeaten. We've got to take that pain and try and take that into the North London derby. Use that emotion to win that game, and obviously start another good run, which can be possible, man. End of the day, I just got to give credit to Sunderland. Credit to Granit Xhaka as well. I think he played well. I think Ballard as well. Very, very solid at the back. Very, very solid player at the back. And ultimately, I'm Sunderland are a promoted team that have made every game difficult for teams that they've played, and I've got to give a credit to their manager, credit to their players. They have some good players on their team. Can't lie to you. And Arsenal got to lick their wounds. We've got to be upset. We've got to burn. But end of the day, we've got to see that we did play well. That if not for one moment of mistake, we're gonna have 3 points. But we've got a point out of it, and maybe getting a point out of it in the end might come to be beneficial. Maybe who knows what Liverpool do when they go to Sunderland away, or Man City when they do when they go to Sunderland away. So yeah, man. All right.
Yep, you never know. But people, if you watched along with us this far, don't forget to drop a like, drop a subscribe, people, to both Gunners Street and KapeHasPausa, both on the road to 2K subs. KP, I'm going to get your man of the match, and ultimately your forward-looking predictions into how this really affects us in the league. Really, I want to get your predictions on that game tomorrow. What do you think? How do you think that's going to end up? And ultimately, your man of the match for this game, for the Arsenal game. For me, I think I'm going to go with either between Trossard or Rice. I just thought Trossard scored a wonderful goal. Overall, his creation was brilliant. But I thought Declan Rice and his work rate, phenomenal, man. I mean, you and Waffle Down had a stream yesterday or whenever it was. You talked about that midfield and the different profiles of that midfield. But if you have someone like Declan Rice in that midfield, all action player, top level player, in every aspect of the game, he affects it defensively, offensively. Dalton Rice had another great performance, but I lean Trossard just because he got that magical goal, deserving to be the winner, but ultimately just a point for us today. Who's your man of the match today, and ultimately, what do you think about tomorrow's game?
Trossard as well, good man of the match. I think he was quality today. All these actions, especially in the second half, started to level it up. creating a lot of chances, a lot of openings. I think that could have led to a couple of goals or being, the pass before that pass. And I think his goal was amazing as well. Very, really well taken. Definitely our best goal of the season so far. And unlucky for him not to be the winner. But yeah, honourable shout out. Rice was amazing. Zubimendi was also amazing. Saka, of course, on that left-hand side or right side was very good. So credit to these players, man. For tomorrow, obviously, it's going to be difficult. Obviously, both teams are probably going to see this opportunity for them to try and, close the gap themselves. So, like, it will be a very, very good game. Like, I'm hoping for a draw, but I feel like Man City will probably win the game because I feel like they're at home. I feel like they're in a good moment right now. He's in obviously crazy form. Got a player like Foden returning back to his best, so that's there. But obviously, Liverpool got to pick up some form. So it'll be an interesting game, and ultimately both teams will probably try and go for it. It might end up causing them to both like nullify each other. But ultimately, if we can get a draw, then it'll be good. If someone wins, is what it is. We're not gonna always win every game week. It's just about how we react, because there's gonna be game weeks where they're gonna drop points as well. We've got to make sure that we capitalize when that happens. So, what about you? What do you think?
I think it'd be a draw. I've been sticking draw with the whole week. I do think if it was to be a winner, I kind of would lean Man City as well. Just the fact that I think they're like you said, in a good period right now. Haaland is on ridiculous form, especially with Liverpool's defense. I mean, 2 clean sheets in a row, so maybe they might keep Haaland out, but that guy is just in ridiculous form. And they have guys like Foden and Turkey, and if you afford them any space, it might be dangerous. But we'll see who wins that midfield battle tomorrow. We'll see how Liverpool approach the game. We'll see how City approach the game. But I think both teams need to win, especially seeing that Arsenal result today. So I think that's probably why we can see a draw. But yes, people, if you come this far, don't forget to drop a like, drop a subscribe to both Gunners Street and KapeHasPausa. We're on the road to 2K subs. Join us as we do more watch alongs and live stream reactions. Follow us for player profiles, any types of Arsenal analysis, and any type of Arsenal videos here on our channel. So if you like anything Arsenal related, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the family. Leave in the comment section down below who's your man of the match. Leave down in the comment section down below what do you think of this run of games. Because I mean, before we get out quickly, I mean, KP, we talked about 7 from 7. We were nearly 7 from 7. I thought it would have been a brilliant way to close it out before the thing. But are you still proud of this run that the team went on? And ultimately, do you think this still will? How do you think we kick on from here, especially seeing that we've got 3 games coming out of the break?
Yeah, I'm definitely proud. 6 out of 7 is almost perfect, and obviously you could call it 6.5. Then we got a draw.
Yeah, 6.5.
So
really.
we done what we need to do. From the record is amazing. Only conceded 2 goals in that period. Obviously, that was in the last game. We had a lot of players injured, so it's good. Obviously, we got some tough games coming up, but tough games, big players step up for those big games. Like, I'm not really fearful of Arsenal in big games. If anything, we perform and step up, raise our level in these bigger games. Historically, we've shown that. So I'm not necessarily worried about it. It's just making sure that we have the players back available. And I'm pretty sure these 2 weeks of international break, with most of these players, Mikel's speaking very positive about them. We've already seen Jesus back in training. I'm pretty sure we'll probably see a lot of players, if not all of them, back. And we can start to kind of be a bit more confident in, the rotation and for these games. So I'm proud of the club. I think, again, we can go on another one of these runs. I think after these run of games that we have against Bayern, Spurs, and against Chelsea, I think our run of games looks, again, a little bit favourable. Again, there's no international break until March. So obviously, yeah, there is a lot of games coming to the Christmas period, but we can go on another run and build some momentum up. And ultimately, I'm confident with this team. I'm proud of this team. It's not easy what they've done. We're sure they'll be very disappointed today, and we go again. This is what title race is about. When you have first stumbling block, we had one against Liverpool, one against Man City, and from that point we went on a great run. So you just do the same again, and it's not necessarily even like we've lost or played badly. I think AFC always it's definitely a missed opportunity for us to extend a position. Yeah, I agree with you. It's our first opportunity in a while that we haven't used to extend the opportunity. Like, obviously, what we're hoping for is for us to get a draw, and then it's not necessarily a situation where we've missed out on, extending this opportunity. So yeah.
Yep. Yes, people. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your love and support on the stream. Catch you in the next one, people. Peace.
Peace and love, guys.